In this video, we're going to measure the efficiency of this APC Back-UPS ES 650 UPS. We're going to do that by measuring the power or wattage consumed out of a simulated battery, which I'm simulating with this power supply, versus the power or wattage consumed as measured through the AC circuit to different loads. My loads will consist of light bulbs of varying wattages, and I will state what they are as I go along. You can see whether the UPS is on AC power by observing this waveform here. With the sine wave, it's going to be on the AC power. With the simulated sine wave, which is more like a square wave, then it's running off of the battery, and you also see the power being consumed on this power supply. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so for my first test, we're going to see how much the UPS draws just by itself with no load, 0 watts out. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug the UPS, and we can see here that there's still no load, and we're consuming about 6 watts. So what that means is that this UPS in quiescent mode without any load at all is using about 6 watts, or pretty close to half an amp of battery power. So for instance, if you had a 10 amp hour lithium iron battery, this UPS could run like this for probably close to 20 hours, maybe a little bit longer. Of course, you're not powering anything, so that isn't particularly useful. I'm going to go ahead and put the UPS back on AC power, and I'm going to try the first light bulb, which is about a 9-watt light bulb. It's an LED light, so doesn't use a lot of power. You can also see now with the light on that you get the light in the video, so you can tell we're actually drawing from the light. It's showing about 9 watts. And if I turn off the power to the UPS, we can now see that we're drawing about, say, 16-ish watts out of the DC battery, or simulated battery in this case, to generate about a 8.7 watts output in AC. Now you're wondering, well, why is that less? It was 9.5 watts before. Well, it's because our voltage went down. Our voltage running on UPS is averaging about 111 volts, while when going back on the AC power, which I just turned back on, is about 120 volts. So that would make sense because it's a resistive kind of a load. Generally, light bulbs are. So the wattage will go down as the voltage goes down. All right, we're now going to try our next bulb, which is a 15-watt light bulb. First, turning it on AC power, and we can see here we're almost 15 watts, 14.6, and going on to UPS mode, running on the battery, we're consuming about 21-ish watts, or 1.5 amps, 1.6 amps out of the battery. Okay, moving on to the next. We're going to go ahead and try the next load, which is a 25-watt light bulb. We're seeing about 24 on AC. Now going to UPS. We can see with the UPS, we're drawing about 31-ish watts from the battery, or 2.33-ish amps. All right, now moving on to the next. Put it back on AC. Okay, you'll see this red light popped up here. Basically, my oscilloscope was getting on low battery, so I've got it hooked up to charge right now. That's all that light means. So we're moving on to the 40-watt light bulb, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. And we can see we're drawing about 40-ish watts, 41-ish watts there. And when I go on to UPS battery, we can, what happened there? When I go to UPS battery, we can see we're about 48, 47, 48-ish watts from the battery. Okay, going back to AC. We're now going to do a 60-watt light bulb. This light's a little bit different because it's a halogen. It's the only 60-ish watt bulb I could find. So we're going to go ahead and kick that on, and you're going to see it's running a little more than 60 watts, 62, 63-ish watts. And then we're going to go onto the battery on the UPS, and we can see at that point we're running 67 watts here, and the halogen's only drawing about 56 watts. Because again, the lower voltage. Okay, going back to AC. Going to do my next light bulb, which is a 75 watt light bulb. Turn that on, and you can see we're getting just about 75 watts. Kind of amazes me actually that the light bulbs are really that close to the wattage that they rate on there, because that's, like within 1% or so. So yeah, now going back to the UPS power, we're going to see here that we're getting drops down to 68 watts, and then the UPS is drawing about 72, 73 watts out of the battery. We're now going to go into the calculation phase of this video where we're going to see and calculate what the efficiency is. And here at the end is just a quick little summary chart showing the numbers that I've shown at the top through each of the tests. I summarize the efficiency. As you can see, efficiency increases as the load increases. I also calculated the approximate runtime with a 10 amp hour lithium iron battery. And also I was interested to see how the voltage dropped on the UPS versus the AC mains. And you can see it's, roughly you lose about 5-ish, somewhere between 4 and 6% of the AC voltage when running on the UPS. If you found this video helpful at all, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.